Hey, yo, check this out, baby. Dolmendo Indoneo. Last night you didn't go a la casa entendido. Soon I said, hey, you were at a party. High in the sky or borrachada albicarte.
What the fuck?
I bet you didn't know.
What the fuck? What the shit is that? Let me see. So what? No. What the hell was that?
Mellow Man Ace, bro, don't you know?
No. So we are live. And
Hi, everybody.
And again, what the fuck?
That was great. It was fucking amazing.
Mentirosa.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at that later, but the fuck, man. Anyway, so welcome everybody to the podcast about nothing and everything entertainment. I'm your host, Matt Ram.
And I'm Phil Stop.
All right. Now, in this episode here, we're going to be talking about Batman versus Superman. Basically, we're going to be about all ranging from the DC universe, the DC cinema universe. So, we both seen the Batman vs Superman movie.
Yep.
And we both saw that they're the tie-ins with the Justice League. You know, bringing in Wonder Woman. Oh, but before we continue farther, for those who haven't seen it yet, this may contain some spoilers. So just spoiler alert.
Flash.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah, let me get comfortable. Ooh.
Let me get comfortable.
Right.
Wow, wow, wow.
It's like all right. So in the Batman vs Superman movie, we've seen that Lex Luthor basically plots it to have Superman get taken down by Batman by manipulating who's good and who's bad. And it goes the other way around as well, with Superman thinking that Batman is nothing but just this vigilante doing whatever basically whatever he wants to.
That was well played. Very well played by Lex Luthor. The gentleman they had play Lex Luthor, I can't remember his name.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, from also Now You See Me.
Yeah. Very
good Lex Luthor.
See, that's a trick though, because they played him off like a Joker type of thing, where he's kind of insane, but he's actually relatively smart in his play.
Yeah.
I think that's more or less the maniac trope.
Yeah.
Which then, once all that facade is washed away, he's this actually a very very methodical, mastermind.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, you see how well his plan had played out, and how he evolves into a common picture of Lex Luthor.
Right. See, that's what threw me for a loop when I first saw it, and I saw all this stuff here. I'm like, man, this guy's very animated. Nothing like the way they personified Lex Luthor in the comics. Nothing like they personified him. Hell, even in a Smallville or any of the animated series, none of it was personified that way. This is the first I've ever seen it, so I'm just like, that's different. So there's got to be some twist to why he's acting that way, and then obviously they showed near the end of it what the deal was.
What was really cool about this movie was the introduction of Mercy. She wasn't in any of the previous movies with Lex Luthor and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luthor always had a sidekick in the previous Christopher Reeve Superman movies, but he wasn't in the comic. But now they bring in Mercy from the cartoon series, and they had her in the movie. I thought it was really really good.
The way they personified Batman, Affleck, as many people don't, it's kind of like a 50-50. People liked it, people hate it. I like that, how he personified Batman.
Batfleck surprised the crap out of me.
Everyone was like, oh no, he's not a good Batman. He shouldn't be doing this. He should be doing some other stuff here. And he's going to ruin the franchise. No, he did a fantastic job. He did everything that Batman personified about, justice.
He continues it, too, in the trailer for Justice League.
Yes.
And he's a very good Bruce Wayne and a very good Batman.
Yes. I think he did it very well. Very well put. The way they kind of went about like the beef, like how it started off, was also well put together. I mean, they first it was mainly on Superman being, you know, this person who doesn't abide by any laws, which is more or less. I mean, he is a, you know, a law abiding citizen as Clark Kent. As Superman, the only time he ever breaks any rules, if you will, is when it comes to Lois Lane. Like in that scene where she was doing the report in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Superman just comes out of nowhere and starts just wrecking shop. I do like how they went about, you know, trying to blame Superman for all the death and destruction in the world, and yet they're like, sort of like not seeing the good, or that the good is like that others are seeing him in this like they're putting him on this pedestal when, you know, the government feels he should be put on a leash.
This is a story tie-in that was never explored in the comic, where they didn't hold Superman accountable for anything that happened during his fights. And I think that all these people coming out and saying, hey, I was affected by that fight. And when Bruce Wayne is like, I was affected by that fight.
Yeah.
My building was destroyed, my satellite was destroyed, and my people.
Yeah, basically, yeah, because it was mainly not just like his materials things, but his people that he worked with, the people that were more or less close to him, were also affected.
Yeah.
And Superman showed no regard,
no remorse, just
to the whole thing, which is kind of like not fair. When even though yes, he's destroying stuff, is getting destroyed, but it's not like he meant for that to happen. He didn't want any of that to happen. If it wasn't for, you know, Zod and his crew to come down in Man of Steel, this would have never happened. He would have lived a normal life. He would have been working at the Daily Bugle like he's doing now, and he would have just been set.
Mm-hmm.
But because of these, you know, events, you know, come to fruition, and Zod wanting to terraform the planet back to Krypton, you know, kind of, he had no choice.
Yeah, force his hand.
Yeah, had no choice on that one there. So using that to build up the hate by the people, and Lex Luthor, you know, manipulating those in the Senate, you know, it made things roll along very well.
Yeah.
To have Bruce Wayne / Batman not trust Superman, and wanted to take him out and see him as a all out threat. And then the tie-in with not tie-in, but having Wonder Woman be part of the whole storyline was fantastic. I think what was her name? Was it Gal Gadot? Gal Gadot, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Show that picture. So, she was very well, you know, she played Wonder Woman very well, Diana, perfectly. So I think outside of what was the original 70s Wonder Woman, what was her name?
Linda Carter,
yeah. I think she did it justice very well.
She did a really good portrayal of Diana Prince, her normal life. I'm pretty sure they're going to go into it more in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah. Well, they are gonna have to, with the pictures that were found, the footage that was shown. Basically, when Bruce Wayne was doing all this investigation after he hacked into, you know, Lex's
database.
Servers. Spoiler again. Seriously, y'all need to see this movie, and if you're gonna see this movie, highly recommend the Blu-ray extended edition, because that's the one that shows everything. Because if you watch just like the theater version, it's just gonna be like, eh.
It's called the Ultimate Edition. That's the way to view it. It ends up being like 2.5, almost 3 hours.
Worth it.
It's worth it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, if you haven't, because if you've seen it in theaters and you watch this version of it, it fills so many gaps. Things make more sense. But yeah, after he gets into the database and sees all these videos of these other metas that are, you know, the Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, even Wonder Woman herself, they're literally, in my opinion, or at least in my view, they're literally like mini trailers within the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aquaman's going to be amazing. The Flash, different, because I've seen I watched the show.
I need friends. That's my favorite line. Yeah. That was amazing.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see that. But, going back to the Batman vs. Superman portions of it, seeing the distrust between the two build to the point where to push things along faster when Lex Luthor kidnaps Clark's mom.
Yeah.
And then forces Superman to
fight Batman.
Not just fight him, but kill him. And bring him, basically bring him his head. If he does do that, he'll let his mom go, so on and so forth, and so ensues the amazing fight between Batman and Superman. Little things that I always question when I saw that fight there, mainly just like the machine guns that popped out of the sides, like he knew that wasn't gonna do anything, but. Even I knew that wasn't going to do anything, but it was all a matter of just, a distraction to lead him on to where he wants him to be. Yeah. Because Batman is very calculating. When he does things, there's always a reason. There's always a purpose for doing these things, even if you don't see it right away, which is one of the things I do like about Batman and his style of combat. Even though he's like this master martial artist and escape artist, his calculations to, get things done is amazing.
He only had 3 grenades. So he had to make those 3 grenades come out at very pivotal points in the fight.
Correct.
Where he could do the most damage.
Yeah. And, did he do damage? That was probably one of the few times that you ever see Superman afraid outside of when he fought Zod. Mm-hmm. Like, when he got hit with the grenade, it didn't do much to him, but he still continued going. And then when he was about to punch Superman's about to punch Batman, he just like blocks it, and that shocked look on his face.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about Henry Cavill, is his expressive face.
Yeah.
Like when Zod captured him in Man of Steel, he felt fear inside the kryptonite, or in the Kryptonian ship.
Yeah.
And then in DOJ, you could see his expressions when Batman was able to hurt him. Able to block him.
Yep.
And you can say, you can see it in his face how he felt, and I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very well put. And then seeing that, even a normal person can still take on, Superman was pivotal as a kind of like a bring someone to reality that yes, you are Superman, but you also have your vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Granted, it took like a major ass beating between the two of them before they, Superman's just like, look, the reason why I'm doing this is because I have no choice, type of thing. And then
I like how Lois had to save him.
Yeah,
with all his strength, with all his power, it took Lois to stop him.
Yeah, that was. I never really put that connection together that she had to come to his rescue.
Yeah.
That was that's eye-opening right there.
I've also been a fan of DC for the longest time.
Right.
And I've never made the connection that Clark's mom, Martha, has the same name as Bruce's mom.
Yeah.
Martha.
If it wasn't for this movie here, I probably would have never made that connection either, because the comics I'm not sure that's how that went down. The animated series, or at least the animated movie that brought them all together, wasn't that way either. That was resulted in like these machine alien things that came to Earth and what have you, and they all had to gather together to take them out. But for the movie, it really tied things up. It really made things easier to follow between the two of them. That one special connection that they're both their mothers were named Martha.
He just keeps repeating, why is he saying that name?
Mm-hmm.
How does he know that name? And then Lois comes in. That's his mom's name.
I know.
And it clicks. It's like, wait, his mom is named Martha?
Yep.
What's going on? And then finally Superman can explain.
Yeah, which is... You think you would explain that right out of the gate, but no, I guess...
Dude, Batman was heated. Batman was so mad.
But that doesn't mean he wouldn't have listened. I mean, he may have been heated, but he would have, like, at least heard him out for a second before they went down. But nah, I guess, granted, plot and story to roll along that was needed. Plus, if that didn't happen, there would have been no fight scene between the two of them. And
this is the Frank Miller Batman. Yeah. He's been pushed to his very limits. Robin's dead.
Oh yeah,
and then you see the suit. Mm-hmm. And his people are dead. A lot of people lost their lives in that fight with Zod, and now he's seeing Superman is like this can't be. It also ties into the Brainiac storyline in the comics where he didn't trust anyone on the Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
So he had countermeasures for everyone.
Yeah, his special book, his data that on everybody's weaknesses and strengths.
It just shows how much investigation Batman did on everyone in the Justice League.
Yeah, well, he always had to make sure to have countermeasures in case any of them wanted to go rogue in the first place. So, going, even with all that information itself, you think they would at least cut that portion as far as when it comes to the parents. But, again, plot and story, that has to go on, or the movie would just end quickly. I do like the fact that they brought one of my favorite villains of all time, Doomsday, to the fray. I don't care what anyone says, he ruined Superman comics, when he killed Superman, this and that. He is by far one of the most badass characters ever in DC history, to me. I mean, yeah, he's not the strongest. Don't get me wrong, because everyone knows, Darkseid is probably one of the most strongest villains out there. But Doomsday, it was a trip to see how they made him, because comic book wise, that's not how he came about. Mm-hmm. He was genetically created on Krypton in its primitive state. By scientists, yes. He didn't just evolve the way he did in the movie. He evolved every time he was killed. Yeah. Every time he was killed, he came back. He regenerated and adapted. Just because, DC Universe, that whatever killed him prior couldn't do it again. Mm-hmm. Which is what they portrayed in the movie. Every time he got shot or every time he got injured, drastically, that he would, start to grow bigger. That's just showing a visual representation of him getting, adapting to what's hurting him. Yeah. And to where it doesn't hurt him again. So that was even explained by, what's his name? The military guy. I don't know his actual name. I'll show, you'll picture. Commander Locke from Matrix, black guy.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
He even put out there, it's like, look, everything we're doing is not working anymore. He's becoming unkillable. And then you have this dramatic thing between Superman and Batman teaming up to fight him, and then they're getting their butts handed to him, and then Wonder Woman comes out of nowhere and starts wrecking shop, and no one knows where she came from. They both are like, it's like, she with you? It's like, no, dude, I thought that she was with you.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
Sword cut Doomsday.
Yeah.
It's like that's not supposed to happen. The only things that can harm a Kryptonian on Earth is kryptonite. Right. But she cut his arm off?
Not necessarily. I mean, Doomsday himself wasn't... he was genetically created to be that way. And mixed in with... just this helps with the lore in the movie. Was his aside from being General Zod's body, he did have Lex Luthor's blood. Yeah. So those intertwining created this abomination. That was even specified in the ship itself. That there are two different living materials that aren't genetically the same, but they still went with it anyway, even though the computer was like, this could create an abomination.
The computer also says that this has happened before, mm-hmm. and it shouldn't happen again. But then Lex overrid it, saying, "Just go ahead and do it."
Yep. So having him come out that way and being able to be injured as much as he did, that made sense. But he also evolved again. And if you notice how after he did evolve that final time with all, and he finally got all the spikes that he normally has in the comics and whatnot, the sword wasn't really doing much anymore.
No.
It was literally, instead of being like major slashes, they were just minor cuts. It was like getting paper cut. It wasn't until they got that spear with the kryptonite as the spearhead that was originally intended for Superman.
Yeah.
That they both went out that way. And I do like how they did an homage to the Batman, the death of Superman.
Yeah.
How when Doomsday died, so did Superman at the same time.
Yeah.
Granted, they didn't go out the same way. You know, they literally just both died due to being beaten so badly that they just died. The exhaustion and everything, it was done in.
In the comics, you could see the return of Superman coming about because he didn't really die in the comic book. They just fought until their batteries were done. And that's why Cyborg Superman had to take Doomsday's body and wrap him up and put him in the sun.
Yep.
So Doomsday couldn't come back.
Right. And even this one here, that again, you got to watch the full ending to see that part. But at the end, after the funeral and all the credits and all that stuff, they showed that Superman still breaks his way out. It was pseudo breakout. They showed the
dirt moved.
Yeah. So,
and then he's still in the Justice League movie.
Yes. So
there's gonna have to be.
I'm pretty sure they'll explain that one. Once it comes about. But I think we'll get more information later on in during the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
Which I hope they explain some things to that.
I also think that they realize that they need more firepower against Darkseid.
Mm-hmm. That was the other thing that I loved that they hinted out when it came to at the end of the movie itself. Again, spoilers. When Batman goes to the prison where Lex Luthor is at, and he was asking him why, did he do all this? Why orchestrate? And he just kept saying that he was coming, and there's no way to appease him, and this and that. Unless, I guess it took a minute for those who don't know the DC universe that he's mainly speaking about Darkseid. I just like the whole bit there. I mean, I can't remember correctly. Did he actually tell him it was Darkseid was coming?
No, he hinted it very early in the movie when he invited the senator to his house.
Yeah.
And then they saw that painting with the angels and the demons. The demons were coming from the ground.
Yeah.
And then he mentions to her, don't you think that should be upside down? Because death's going to come from above.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he was hinting at Superman at the time. But really, I think he was mentioning something else.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the movie, when they're repossessing his stuff from his office in his house, that painting's turned the other way around, where the demon is coming from above.
Yeah.
So
I like those hints, those subtle hints of Darkseid's coming, and that they need that you already know that the only way they can combat this is with the Justice League. They need the combination of all these people's abilities to, combat Darkseid, because he is no pushover. He is by far. He's killed Superman. He's killed a lot of the Justice League, not Justice League, but DC heroes.
Wrecked. He's wrecked
a lot of
DC.
shop. Very bad. It's gonna be epic to see when that does come out. When the Dawn of Justice, I believe that's what it's called there. If you haven't seen the trailer, check it out. It's epic. But going to Phil's fortunes there, seeing all these superheroes from DC coming back and actually looking really good. I'm really excited to see DC make its comeback since after their kind of fallout with Green Lantern.
Well, they had a lot of bad movies. Before Christian Bale, we were talking about this earlier.
Oh yeah.
Those Batman movies.
Yes.
After Michael Keaton, leading up to Christian Bale, those Batman movies probably weren't the best ever.
Well, I feel like what they did was they did they had the Street Fighter effect.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what that means, the Street Fighter effect is basically back in when Street Fighter 2 came out. It was popular. People loved it. It was making money for Capcom, so Capcom put out another Street Fighter Championship Edition, which had all the characters you could play, and then they released another one, the Turbo Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Then they released Super Street Fighter 2. Then they released Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Then they released Street Fighter 2 Hyper.
Yeah.
You see where it's going. They just release really fast just to fill it in. And I think that's what they did with the not Superman, but the Batman franchise.
Prior to Christian Bale.
Yeah. When the Batman and Batman Returns, not Batman Returns, Batman Returns. That's
yeah,
part. That's
it was
the
Batman Returns, and then it was Batman Forever.
Batman and Robin.
And then Batman and Robin.
Yeah. After the second one, they're like, okay, people loved it. Let's go this on here. The problem was that they went with a different director.
Yeah.
Going on with the following movies, and they were just not the best. It was pretty bad. And then they revamped it with The Dark Knight, which the Dark Knight comic line was very, very, very dark. Sorry. It was very serious. Is probably the best way I could put that one there. In which the Dark Knight trilogy was just that, very serious stuff.
But it also changed the tone of the DC movies.
Exactly.
Now it's like, okay, we need the same tone.
Yeah.
And then after the Superman movies, where he was that other guy who played Superman in Superman Returns, that movie wasn't that good.
That was it was kind of lame.
But,
but now, I did like what's his name reprising his roles like Luther. Oh my God, House of Cards.
He was also in Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare.
You know what I'm talking
about.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Show the picture.
But
yeah.
When they moved into that more serious type of tone, then they had to match that. So Man of Steel was more serious. Mm-hmm. And now with Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, it's a very dark, very mature theme to it, and now they have to follow suit. So I think with the lineup that they have coming up, Suicide Squad, I'm gonna see it this weekend. It's gonna be amazing. And then they have Wonder Woman early next year, Justice League
following right
end of
afterwards.
next year, and then Aquaman in 2018. So it's gonna be a nice series of DC
really
movies.
Great. I'm really happy to see the DC's coming back and on the big screen. Let's not get that twisted. The comic books are very healthy making with the new. They finished. They after the new 52 just ended and they started.
After Flashpoint, they really messed things up in Flashpoint. Now that
it's kind of hard now. You can't stay to it because Flashpoint, having the parallel universes and everything changing from one to another, you can't really keep that in line. But it does leave it wide open to do whatever you want.
Well, and they mess things up even more in Rebirth. I mean, they bring back Lois and Clark. They're together now. They're back together and they have a kid. But a
that's
Chinese
a different
Superman?
One. But that's a different Superman though, because that Superman, there was a one point in that comic line where the Superman of that universe meets the Family Man Superman. It's very confusing shit now that they haven't explained it that way. But basically, the Family Man Superman had to help another Superman because he was dying.
The way they explain it is collar and no collar Superman.
Yeah.
No collar Superman is prior to Flashpoint. Yeah. Somehow he survived it. Him, Lois, and their kid survived, and they're in the new world. And it was revealed that the collared Superman from the New 52s, he's dying.
Yeah.
overexposure to the sun.
Which is weird. It shouldn't be that way.
And that's how he got the new powers, the solar flare that he
That
do.
was what was killing him. Was the solar flare was starting to, basically give him kind of like almost like a cancerous type of disease.
When he had to get back into the Fortress of Solitude because he wouldn't even recognize him anymore, he needed the other Superman.
Yep.
No colored Superman. So they fixed that up. But in Rebirth, they explained that he didn't die, the colored Superman.
Yeah.
But his powers got dispersed. And that's why there's a Chinese Superman. Don't ask me.
I'm not.
and the new the collarless Superman, no collar Superman, is now the one and only Superman.
Right.
And his kid teams up with Damian Wayne as superhero kids. So they're going in a bunch of different directions, and I don't know, man.
I'm grateful for it, and like I said, even like not just the comic book line, even the animated series, the movies, like the Killing Joke that just came out.
Oh, I want to see that.
Oh, Tim saw it. Said we need to see it. It is.
I want to see it. It
really
should be on
good.
Blu-ray already. My buddy watched it.
Yeah, so
I think about it.
Y'all go check out that movie as well. Thumbs up on that. It's fantastic. And not even that, but also the what was the one prior to that one that's on Netflix now? That it's the part of the Dark Knight lineup.
Son of Batman.
I think so.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of Batman animated movies that have been released.
Yeah, but it's the same animation style that's in that one is exactly what they use is what they done for The Killing Joke.
Okay.
So it's very well drawn.
They should bring back Bruce Timm. He was the best DC animator. He did the Batman animated series. He did the Superman animated series, the Justice League animated series.
Yeah.
Bruce Timm, much props, dude. I dig your art style.
Well, I'm saddened that they didn't use Mark Hamill for Joker.
Yes.
In this one, because to me, out of all the Jokers, he was the best.
If you're talking animated Joker, it's got to be Mark Hamill.
Not only that, but he was also the Joker. He did the voice for Joker in the Arkham trilogy.
On the video games. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Asylum and City. He was the same. He reprised his role as the Joker.
He's too busy doing Jedi things at the moment.
What? Not saying anything?
Well, obviously, he has to save his voice.
Never mind.
Episode 8's coming out.
We'll talk about that the day.
Rogue One coming out later this year. Make sure you guys go watch it.
So
I am a sci-fi geek, so I know this stuff too.
Ugh. But it's doing well. The movie franchise is doing fantastic. Because I think now the Marvel lineup. Don't get me wrong. The Marvel lineup's coming up. It's going to be epic. But there's a lot already. There's not that much in the DC lineup outside of the Dark Knight line, and this is a great refresher. It's different. It's more gritty.
But they have to follow it up. They have to follow it up. I mean, they have a great, 1 year lineup, but after that, what are you going to do another Justice League movie?
I don't know. They're doing. They're just testing that one. They're seeing how well these other movies are going to do. Suicide Squad, because we're already seeing those reviews saying Suicide Squad was a terrible this and that. Then you got the flip side of things from all the
Kevin Smith loves it.
Yeah, well, not just that, but I mean like the actual people who know the comic books love it. The people who don't know the comic books and just see it as just a movie, an action movie, hated it.
I haven't even seen it, and I love it because of Margot Robbie.
Oh God!
Don't don't roll your.
I'm
eyes.
Just saying. I mean, me personally, Will Smith as Deadshot is fantastic.
6-pack Will Smith, mind you.
Well, yeah, there was basically I Am
Margot
Legend.
Robbie.
It's like I Am iRobot Will Smith, if you will. Yeah. He's all ripped up and whatnot. Yeah. And then
what was that movie he was in that he had superpowers?
I Am Legend?
No, Hancock.
Hancock, yeah. And then there's also what's the name? Something Leto.
Jared
Leto
as Joker. Yeah.
People don't like it. I dig that look. The tatted, silver teeth.
I think he matches the times now. He is going to be what the Joker is going to look like.
I mean, he kind of reminds me of when they did Batman Beyond. That Joker where he had dreadlocks and shit. That's what I'm seeing, is that they're following that trend of staying current with the time, the scenery, like you were saying, that this is the Joker of our time, as opposed to the
Jack
traditional
Nicholson
Joker where he's all in a suit and he's all in the zoot suit and whatnot.
Once you get to Heath Ledger level,
that's even
you have to
more
change
fuzzy thing, because even Heath Ledger wasn't a traditional Joker look, so to speak, as far as attire is concerned. He had the stringy green hair.
He had the suit.
He had the suit, but it's not like he was like in Jack Nicholson where he's always constantly wearing the blazer and all that stuff. He had just the vest, the long sleeve, which he had rolled up.
Yeah.
He had the pants and whatnot, but most of the time he's rarely in it because he's always changing into something else when he's doing some weird shit, like when he was in the nurse's outfit, which, by the way,
that was fantastic.
One of my favorites there, especially when he's sticking his head out the window when he's driving away. Fantastic.
So rest in peace, Heath Ledger. That was a great performance.
We miss you. But the movies coming up are going to do very well. In my opinion, I think they're going to do amazing.
I think so too. I think so.
And I look forward to it, and y'all should too. With that, here we're going to go ahead and call this an ep.
Yeah.
We'll call this an ep, and question of the day. Favorite DC superhero? Not even superhero. Let's just do what's here. Favorite DC character in general. Because personally, for me, when it comes to DC, out of all the characters that are in there, my personal favorite is Constantine. Or, sorry, let me rephrase that because it's pronounced Constantine.
Constantine was a very good character.
Yes, he is by far my favorite. Not even just that. I'm talking about like the show, which I'm disappointed they didn't go very far because I thought it was very well done up, the first 3 episodes that they did. I think it went up. I think it only went for 1 season and it just dropped. But if you have like Netflix or Hulu, check it out. It's good stuff. But he is my favorite character because he intertwines with everybody.
I think aside from my favorite superhero of all time, Superman, I would have to go with Mercy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lex Luthor's driver, assistant, helper, and bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mercy was a very good character. She was also the kind of comic relief to Lex's stoic face in the cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
She brought up some liveliness in him, so I think it was a pretty good character.
All right, so.
And oh my God, is she hot in Dawn of Justice?
You know what? I figured that was the main reason for this, but I'm glad you started off with the actual real good reasons.
Oh, yeah. It's just to tie into the movie,
But yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments below. Again, we're doing this whole front-facing camera. If it looks dark, we apologize. We're working on getting some better
equipment
on
more toys
on this part here. But everything else, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to, follow us more with more talk on comics, games, and everything in between.
The poll is still open for Mimi versus Misty.
Oh, good Lord.
And I think the new poll is going to be which version of Supergirl do you like the best?
Okay, so now... Okay, we'll talk about that some other time because there are multiple Supergirls that are out there, ranging from the animated series, the animated movie, the
different comic book
TV show, the comics,
TV shows. Yep.
So there's a lot to work with.
And
there.
The one movie that she was in, and back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that's right.
She had a movie. Helen Slater.
Yep. Oh God, we're going way back with that one, but yeah. Just, like I said, if you like what you see, just hit that subscribe. We'll be talking about other things in general regarding everything entertainment. We really don't have a topic for our next episode. If there's anything you want us to discuss regarding anything in the entertainment field, games, comics, movies, leave us a comment. Leave us comments there. Let us know. We'll talk about anything.
We're on Twitter. Both of us are on FaceCrack.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram as well.
Everything's all in the descriptions below.
Yeah. YouTube.
Yeah. So look forward to our next episode. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace. You should do that up, down. Video audio sync test.
Oh damn! I already stopped the son of a bitch too. I think I have something. Oh, how about I stop recording?